indestructible, all-powerful, indescribable. What kind of creature is this god monster, Mothra?
It's a frickin' big moth. So companions are dead, or at the very least, highly nerfed, thank goodness. And so for this week, for Arena on a Budget, we're going to be playing a deck that couldn't actually run companions. So this is a deck I wanted to try out for a while, but I just felt like there wasn't a way to justify playing a deck that didn't have a companion. Companions were just so unbelievably, ridiculously busted that I couldn't find a way to justify actually running this deck that couldn't actually support any of the companions. But now we're past that. We're into an era where not every single deck needs to run a companion, and because of that, we're playing some Luminous Broodmoth combo. So Luminous Broodmoth is maybe my favorite card out of Ikoria. Super cool card. It's a 4-mana 3/4 flyer, and it says whenever a creature we control without flying dies, we get to return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. So just on its face, that's really great. That means if we have a creature on the board and we trade it with our opponent's creature, their stuff dies, ours comes back even better than it was before, because now it can fly. We get the enter the battlefield triggers, we get the leave the battlefield triggers. Luminous Broodmoth is just really great in terms of value, but really where it shines is in a deck like ours, which takes advantage of the ability to continually sacrifice things and get them back over and over again. And so the primary card we have that works really well with Luminous Broodmoth is Midnight Reaper. Midnight Reaper, old card in Standard, it's a 3-mana 3/2 that says whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card. So just these two cards together, you can kind of see the idea of the deck. We have creatures that die, they draw us card, and they get to come back for free with Luminous Broodmoth. They get to die again, draw us more cards, get us more value, etc, etc, etc. And so we're spending 4 rares on Midnight Reaper, 3 mythics on Luminous Broodmoth, and the other rare in our deck is Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord. So Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord is kind of a combo with our other cards. If we have all 3 of these on the battlefield, we have Midnight Reaper, we have Luminous Broodmoth, and we have Sorin. Sorin gives all of our creatures lifelink, so that means Midnight Reaper, when it's dealing 1 damage to us, we're gaining that 1 life back, so it's actually no life loss at all. We can just draw, and never be killing ourselves with our own draw here. Sorin's also great because it can just grab stuff out of the graveyard. It can just come onto the battlefield, we can -3 it, get back a Midnight Reaper to set up our combo, or just having it on the battlefield, giving all our creatures lifelink, being able to tick it up to deal 1 damage to a Planeswalker is pretty nice, and it immediately ticks up to 6, so it has just a lot of loyalty, so it's pretty hard for our opponents to bust through. The lifelink is great against like more aggressive decks, so this is the core rare package of our deck and sort of the combo we're going for. The rest of it is sort of supporting this. So the big supporting players we have here is Pitiless Pontiff. Pitiless Pontiff is our sacrifice outlet. Essentially, she's the way we're able to just sacrifice a bunch of creatures all at once, draw a bunch of cards with our Midnight Reaper, bring them all back with flying with Luminous Broodmoth. This is our uncommon sack outlet, and we also have Cruel Celebrant, which is another way to benefit off of our creatures dying. It drains our opponent for 1, we gain a life. It goes really well with Midnight Reaper. Again, we can start drawing cards, and if we're draining our opponent along the way, it means we're not actually losing life to our own Midnight Reaper, because that is kind of where Midnight Reaper can get a little scary, is if you have a Midnight Reaper on the battlefield, you have your board all kind of set up, and your opponent like wraths or something, and just kills you with your own Midnight Reaper. That's pretty bad, but Cruel Celebrant lets us gain life when our creatures die to kind of offset any damage that Midnight Reaper does. Mire Triton's just a really solid card. Good way to fill up our graveyard. A 2-mana Death Touch is pretty good against a lot of decks, and we want to fill up our graveyard for Call the Death Dweller, so this is kind of the secret spice to our deck out of Ikoria. I mean, besides the Broodmoth itself, but being able to get back our Midnight Reaper for 3 mana, or get back like a Hunted Witness plus a 2-drop for 3 mana is really good. Being able to put Death Touch and Menace on something is also really nice, and it especially works super well with our Ugin's Conjurant, which is kind of the secret weapon of this deck. Ugin's Conjurant, it's a pretty unplayable card on its face, just an XX for X. That's pretty bad. You wouldn't usually run that in a constructed deck, but the secret with Ugin's Conjurant is we can cast it for 0 mana. If we cast it for 0 mana, it enters the battlefield as a 0/0, and it just immediately dies. So imagine we have a Midnight Reaper and a Luminous Broodmoth on the battlefield. We play Ugin's Conjurant, it enters the battlefield, dies, we get to draw a card. Then it doesn't have flying, so Luminous Broodmoth brings it back again as a 0/0. It dies again, and we get to draw another card. So for 0 mana, we just drew 2 cards. So very powerful combo, and Call the Death Dweller combos really well with it. So Call the Death Dweller can bring back 2 creatures with a converted mana cost of 3 or less combined. So we can get back, usually if you get back Midnight Reaper, that'd be it, right? You just Call the Death Dweller, get this back, that's 3 mana, you're done. But Ugin's Conjurant is actually 0 mana, so we can get back Midnight Reaper and an Ugin's Conjurant, immediately draw a card. If you have a Luminous Broodmoth, draw 2 cards. So Ugin's Conjurant is really great in our deck. We can get it back for 0, -0 with Sorin to draw some cards, etc., etc. So that's basically the idea of the deck. Just sort of an aristocrat sacrifice, draw a bunch of cards, gain a bunch of life, drain our opponents out with Cruel Celebrants, make a bunch of flyers with Luminous Broodmoth and beat our opponent down. Besides that, we are just running some removal, 2 copies of Heartless Act, 3 copies of Banishing Light to answer anything. So in the mana base, we are running some rare lands. So if you've got these rare lands, run them as well. If not, just run as many as you got of these Godless Shrines, Temple of Silence, Fable Passage, and then just fill in the gaps with cards like Orzhov, Guildcade, with cards like Scoured Barrens. If you got them, you can actually fill in the gaps with these cycling lands. Those are better than these because you can cycle them away even though you're not going to use the third color of mana. If you just happen to have opened any of these Triumphs, they're also rare lands, but if you've got them, you can just slot them in, and they're better than these. You would rather have the ability to cycle your tapped land for 3 when you just don't need mana anymore than, I think, gain a life. So just run as many of these as you got, replace what you don't with Triumphs if you've got them, and if you don't have any Triumphs, then replace them with Scoured Barrens and Orzhov Guildgate. It will depower the deck a little bit because you're playing more tap lands, but all in all, the deck will still function. You can still get a feel of the deck, and you can still try it out. So in the sideboard, we got 4 copies of Duress to attack our opponent's hands if they're playing Control. If they're playing the cycling deck, I'd actually bring in the Duress because we can kind of deal with a board. We can kind of clog up the board. We can make the trades really bad for our opponent with our Midnight Reapers and our Luminous Broodmoths. We have some Death Touchers to deal with, like big foxes and stuff out of the cycling deck. What we really can't deal with is getting shot in the face for like 12 damage by their Zeniths. So 4 copies of Duress to bring in against Control and Planeswalkers and Zenith and etc. Apostle Purifying Light is great against any black deck, and it's also our graveyard hate, so I would even bring this in against like an Uro deck, you know, just so we can eat the Uros out of their graveyard if we need to. So we don't have any other graveyard hate. I think Apostle does a pretty good job of it. So Apostle Purifying Light to snipe cards out of our opponent's graveyard, and or against any like black heavy decks where it's just going to be really hard for them to remove or attack through or etc. So 2 copies of Heartless Act that you can bring in against any creature heavy deck. It's also great against Winota. It's just an instant speed way to kill Winotas. They don't get to, you know, make a million creatures off their Winotas or whatever. Noxious Grasp we can bring in against like Questing Beast decks, against Nissa decks, maybe even Teferi if we feel like it. Despark we can bring it in against like Nissa decks, against Wilderness Wreck is really where this shines. Despark's pretty good against like really ramp decks is what we want to bring it in against in most cases. And then Banishing Light, just 1 more copy of that. Again, it's sort of a catch-all, even more so than Despark. Banishing Light if we need to attack our opponent's creatures more. They have just some build around we really need to deal with, you know. Have 4 copies of Banishing Light is really nice to have. And so that's the deck. So we're about to jump into some gameplay to see how the deck does. But at the end of the video, we'll actually talk about upgrades. I'll have a section at the end where I talk about some rares or mythics you can slot into the deck if you just happen to already have those rares or mythics, or if you want to use a few more wild cards to kind of power up the deck. We'll talk about some rare mythics you can slot into the deck. Slot some of these commons and uncommons out for them. So anyway, let's hop into the gameplay. I'm really excited to play this. Luminous Broodmoth, again, one of the coolest cards out of Ikoria in my opinion. I'm really excited to play it. And yeah, let's hop into game 1. Here we go. Okay, playing some Mothra combo against Bradley Brave. And okay, we don't really have many of our engine pieces, and by many I mean any. But we do have, we can't just clog up the board here. We can answer whatever they play, so we can kind of stall out to try to find our engine pieces. Okay, Mothra, that's a pretty good draw. Now we just want lands, pretty much. And we'll just play the Cruel Celebrant here. See what our opponent's got going on. So green-black, they might be in like the Jund. Okay, they're in Abzan. Okay, well, gotta kill that right now. Yep, get rid of that. Missing a land drop kind of hurts here for sure. Hopefully they don't have another hero to follow that up. I'm guessing... Oh gosh, that's pretty bad. Oof. Alright, and we don't have another removal spell for it, unfortunately. We're not in great shape. That is, you know, an unanswered hero can do a lot of damage. So we will just go Pitiless Pontiff. And pass turn. Unfortunately, our opponent can just go like Oath of Kaya here, kill our Pitiless Pontiff, and probably gonna kill our Cruel Celebrant, actually. Oh, our opponent's on humans. Interesting. They're on Abzan humans. Okay. Alright. The incidental graveyard hate from General Kudrow isn't bad against us for sure. Ugh. I guess we attack with Pontiff, but if they block with a human, that doesn't feel super great. I think I go Myers Triton here. It's a little not great because they get to just eat our graveyard for free with General Kudrow. But I think we just do it to get the Death Touch body out on the battlefield. Because if we draw a land next turn, we can just Luminous Broodmoth, and then we have a really solid board just to clog things up. We have a lot of Death Touchers. We have a lot of things that'll be great to get back with Broodmoth. So, and yeah, the Kudrow can actually kill the Broodmoth. So it'll be hard for them to remove unless they just have an actual removal spell. They can't just rely on Kudro. Because I imagine with a, I don't know exactly what they're doing with the green mana, but I imagine with a human deck, we're not going to block this turn. We'll start blocking once we get this. Okay, Knight of Autumn. Alright. So maybe they're just playing the green for some good multicolor spells. Let's see what they do with this. I imagine they just put counters on it, yeah. Our Death Toucher is keeping things locked down a bit, though. They can't really get in with their big boys. Come on, land. Land, well, if we're not going to draw a land, Midnight Reaper's pretty good, too. Now we can start pretty aggressively trading. No attacks. And this should, if we can trade well, we can start getting our lands for our Luminous Broodmoth, so we're okay with that, too. Yeah, the incidental the incidental graveyard hate from Kudro, Wilford Brimley over here, is definitely not nothing. Okay, we are just gonna trade. Do you want to take 4? I guess so. We'll just trade and draw a card. Ah, they had the Dire Tactics. That's not good. Yeah, this hero is messing us up for sure. Well, we are gonna at least kill the Knight of Autumn, even though we don't get to draw a card. It's not a card we mind having dead anyway. A 4/3 is pretty big. We were able to answer the first hero, but the second hero, we just haven't found a removal spell for it, and it's kind of killing us by itself. Charming Prince. I imagine they just scry with it. Sure. Yep, just scry too. This is a cool deck, though. Hero humans. They have no creatures in our graveyard. Oh, come on. We need to start drawing lands. Alright, Pitiless Pontiff. Pass a turn. Unfortunately, we're just going to die to these tokens. Like, we can't just keep taking 2 damage from all these tokens every turn. Sure, we are going to just eat this, and I think take 6. I guess we could have blocked one of the tokens of the Hunter Witness. That was a mistake. So I took 2 damage here that I didn't need to. Hopefully that won't end up costing us, but we'll see. If we lose by 2 life, it's my fault. Playcrafter, okay. Yep. Eat our human. We will sacrifice Hunter Witness. Let's see if, okay. Okay, there's the land. Alright. Luminous Broodmoth. And now we're pretty happy about just trading like crazy. No attacks. Pass turn. Okay, hopefully they don't have removal for this Broodmoth. Hopefully. Oh, another hero. Ugh. That's pretty scary. Opponent just passes. Alright. Well, we will get in with the Broodmoth. Hit number 3. And we'll just play Hunted Witness here. Leave up the mana to activate our Pitiless Pontiffs. And we'll probably just, at the end of our opponent's turn, sack Cruel Celebrant, sack Hunted Witness, and then get him back with Call of the Death Dweller. Or I guess they'll actually just come back with flying counters, won't they? Let's see what our opponent does. Okay. Yeah, I think we are just going to start sacking the Hunted Witness, though. Get a bunch of triggers. Is there anything we want to do before that dies? I think we sacrifice the Cruel Celebrant, give it flying. And then we'll sacrifice one of the Pontiffs, give it flying too. Alright, so just basically gave a bunch of our creatures flying in response to this removal spell. Strain our opponent a bit. All these flyers in the air should help, though, to actually close this game out. Ugin's Conjurant, not bad. Call the Death Dweller. So we'll go to combat. Can we kill our opponent here? Attack, attack, attack. Yeah, I guess we can just kill our opponent. And then just sacrifice Hunted Witness. Drain our opponent. Sacrifice human. Drain our opponent. And sacrifice human. Drain our opponent. Unless they have some way to gain life at instant speed. Alright. Okay, alright. So, we were able to just make enough flyers to get over their big board. So our opponent is on Abzan humans. Apostle might be good. Probably want to go up all the Heartless Acts. They didn't really have that many things that put counters. They just kind of grow with their Kudro. Noxious Grasps does deal with their heroes and their Kudros. We probably go up to Noxious Grasps. That's probably enough. I guess Apostle's fine. We'll go up all those. Go down a couple Banishing Lights because we just have better answers. I guess we'll leave one in. Sorin. We don't really need a Sorin here. They're more of like the overwhelm the board than like aggro. Hunted Witness, just kind of trim around the edges. Go down a Hunted Witness, go down a... We only go up 2 Apostles, because they do have some just like straight up white creatures. Go down a Call the Death Dweller, because they might bring in some Graveyard Hate. So maybe go down 2 Call the Death Dwellers. They do just have... With Kudro, they do just have like free Graveyard Hate, and then they might bring in more too after sideboarding. So probably worth going down a couple of those. Alright, Do we want to keep this hand? I don't think so. I don't think we can keep this hand. It's just too easy for them to go like Hero, Kudro, and we're just dead if we keep this hand. So I think we gotta mulligan it. Okay, not really that much better, but I think we'll go down one of the Hunted Witnesses. Run it like that. Hopefully they don't have too busted of a hand. Okay, yeah. Go Hunted Witness. Really want to find a removal spell here for sure. We gotta be able to answer those heroes. Okay. Okay. We'll just attack with our Hunted Witness. Play Cruel Celebrant. I wonder why they're running Mythos of Nethroi. That seems like a weird card to run. Okay. Sure, they just eat one of our creatures. That's fine. Because Mythos of Nethroi is not multicolor, even though you have to spend Abzan mana on it to really get its best effect. Okay, well, our opponent had answers across the board for us here. That's pretty good. Yeah, we'll just Cruel Celebrant. Opponent's playing the control game over there. Temple of Silence. I think we just put Pontiff to the bottom. We need answers for their threats and/or more powerful things than just a 2/2. We don't really have the board set up to take advantage of Pontiff like we did last game. Okay, opponent's just taking up their Kaya. Okay, a second Broodmoth's good because they're very likely have some kind of removal spell for Broodmoth right now. We are still going to run it out. Make them do it. Okay, they're just going to cycle the Triome, sure. We do get to kill this Kaya if they don't have an answer to our Broodmoth this turn. Looks like they do. Alright. Well, we train them on the way out. They get to eat our Broodmoth, which sucks. But we got a second one, so they need 2 answers. Yeah, mulliganing definitely hurt us here. Oh, and a Charming Prince. Now we can't even go after the Kaya. They get to scry. Ooh. Yeah, maybe... Okay, now that we know they are running Kayas, I think we bring in the Banishing Lights in Game 3 if we don't win this game. Opponent is in a pretty commanding position, too, so it's not unlikely. We got to draw well here. Maybe go down all these Call of the Death Dwellers if they're going to have Kudros and Kayas attacking our graveyard. Midnight Reaper. I think we'd rather go play Broodmoth here, though. And we are going to just... I think we are just going to attack, and if they want to block, that's fine. We get a flying Cruel Celebrant. We'd rather have that and just be able to continue to attack this Kaya, so it can't tick up and kill us with its ultimate. Sure. This will let us drain him for 1 and also get a flying Cruel Celebrant. Alright. And we do get to just kill their Kaya this turn, thanks to the combined power of the Luminous Broodmoth and Cruel Celebrant, if they don't have a removal spell, but they very much could. Tristani Discordant. Okay, okay, so we do get to kill... That is a pretty scary card, but we do get to kill the Kaya, which we will be doing. Alright, so go to combat, kill Kaya, get us away from that ultimate, play Midnight Reaper, play Plains, and pass a turn. And we are just going to trade the Midnight Reaper with the Charming Prince to soak up some damage, get a flying Midnight Reaper out of the deal, draw a card. Seems worth it. We can even get it back with Call of the Death Dweller if they don't have removal immediately. Opponent does have a Castle Locthwain now, which is pretty scary. Okay. Trade with the Charming Prince. Take a good chunk of damage. But we get all our triggers. Second call is not great. Okay, opponent starts drawing extra cards. Ooh. Okay, I guess we just pass the turn. Play a land, pass a turn, no attacks. This is not great, for sure. Opponent is going to be drawing 2 cards a turn while we're drawing 1 card, thanks to this Castle Lock lane. Castles are so good. That is definitely, if you have some castles, slot them into this deck. Alright, well that sucks. We do get to get it back with Call of the Death Dweller, though, so it's not all bad. Okay, and we actually got something to get back with this Call of the Death Dweller. And we actually get to get it back twice, thanks to Luminous Broodmoth, so... Alright, so we will Midnight Reaper, Call the Death Dweller, Midnight Reaper, and Godless Shrine tapped, and now we'll start getting in the air. They're gonna start getting in with these lifelinkers. I guess we just get in with the Cruel Celebrant. Doesn't feel great, but I think we gotta leave back this Mothra to block their 2/2s, because otherwise we're just gaining more life than we're actually doing. Probably will if they do get in, like if they decide to attack with both their 2/2s, probably eat one with Broodmoth and trade the other with the Midnight Reaper that doesn't have the counters on it. Oh, hopefully they don't have a removal spell here. Oh, they do. Okay. Get to draw 2 cards at least. Now we probably will not trade with these 2/2s. Oh, especially with this Ugin's Conjurant coming up, yeah. Actually, I guess we can get it back with the Call the Death Dweller, so you know what, we're gonna do it. Sure. Draw 2 cards. Drain our opponent. And now we can Ugin's Conjurant, draw a card, to Call the Death Dweller to get back Midnight Reaper plus Ugin's Conjurant, draw 2 cards. So first we'll Mire Triton just to see if we get anything better in the graveyard. Okay, now we get to do the whole shebang even better. So we're gonna Call the Death Dweller, get back, put both counters on the Midnight Reaper, sacrifice the Ugin's Conjurant, draw 2 cards, drain our opponent. Ooh, and another Cruel Celebrant, that's great. Cruel Celebrant, Ugin's Conjurant, pay 0, draw 2 cards, drain our opponent for 2, so we're not even losing life in this exchange. Oh, another Midnight Reaper. Yeah, we're off to the races now. Just play Godless Shrine tapped. Get in with our flyer. I guess we can get in with the Midnight Reaper too, because it has Menace. Alright, and our opponent's in really rough shape now. Ooh, and they draw down to 7. We're pretty happy about this. And our opponent scoops it up. Alright. Woo! So we just... That was kind of a cool deck, this Abzan hero deck. They didn't find hero in Game 2, which is probably the biggest problem they had. You know, clogging up the board with those humans was definitely their strongest strength there, and especially they didn't find Kudro either. They kind of seemed like they shifted into slightly a different plan in Game 2. Like, I think they brought in more removal, kind of tried to play the control game and win with, like, you know, bigger threats like Tristani there, but we were able to just... Man, once we went off, like, this is kind of the combo in action here. Getting Midnight Reaper back, plus the Ugin's Conjurant. Like, Call the Death Dweller can get back 3 converted mana cost, so usually that's going to just be, if we get back a 3 converted mana cost card like Midnight Reaper, that's going to be it. We just get that back, and that's the whole card. But because we're running Ugin's Conjurant, which is actually 0 mana, we can get back 2 creatures, and you just saw there, we drew like 4 cards, pinged our opponent for 4, didn't actually lose any life. And we just really clogged up the board with these death-touching Menacers, which they couldn't even block well. So, yeah, we just we're off to the races. And Mothra was good when we had it. It won us the first game, let us go in the air and kill our opponent when they had a board we were not going to beat, you know, if we didn't have evasion. So, all in all, yeah, the deck just firing on all cylinders seemed pretty great. Sweet. Alright, playing some Mothra combo against Kresko. We will definitely play first. And, yeah, we'll keep this. We can go get a Black Source, play our Mire Triton, fill up our graveyard for our Call the Death Dwellers, so all in all, looking pretty good. If we need to, we can take the turn to kill something with Heartless Act instead, but I don't know what kind of sleeve our opponent has over there. Is that an anime Ajani? I think that's what that is. Alright, so our opponent is on either Mono Green Stompy or Gruul maybe. But either way, a Death Toucher should be pretty good here. Ooh, we got a couple of Midnight Reapers in the graveyard. So next turn we might just call the Death Dweller, get back our Midnight Reaper, and play Ugin's Conjurer to draw a card. Not going to block this turn. Alright. Looking like mono green from our opponent, so... yeah, I think we're going to do that actually. Call the Death Dweller, get back Midnight Reaper. Okay, opponent's going to ram through, sure. And we will just Ugin's Conjurant for 0, draw a card. Ooh, another call is great. So we can get back our Midnight Reaper plus an Ugin's Conjurant, draw 2 cards. That's the cool thing about Call the Death Dweller with Ugin's Conjurant, is we can actually get back a 3-drop plus the Ugin's Conjurant because it's a 0-drop. No, we're not going to block. Okay, Do we want to Cruel Celebrant and kill the Preserver instead? I think we're going to do that. I'm tempted to call the Death Dweller, draw 2 cards, but I think we want to kill the Preserver before it gets a counter on it. So we're going to Fable Passage, go get a Black Source, play the Celebrant, play the Heartless Act, kill the Wildborn Preserver, hit our opponent for 3, pass turn. Yeah, because this Heartless Act, it can't actually kill things with counters on it. Alright, there's the Questing Beast, sure. We do have a Death Toucher that we can just block it with, though, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, okay. Call the... yeah, call the Death Dweller, get back a Midnight Reaper and a Ugin's Conjurant, put all the counters on the Midnight Reaper, train our opponent, draw 2 cards. Oh yeah, Vanishing Light's great too. Haunted Witness, and we got ourselves set up here. We just need a Mothra to really put the pedal to the metal. Do we want to attack? Nah. We'll just pass a turn. We don't want to trade like the Midnight Reaper for a Pelt Collector, I don't think. We will trade it for a Questing Beast because we can't just keep taking 4 to the face, but I think we'd rather just like chump this Pelt Collector with a Haunted Witness if we have the choice. Sure. Alright. Draw a couple cards. We could also just Banishing Light the Pelt Collector as well, depending on what our opponent plays here. Draw 2 cards. Another Questing Beast, alright. Oh, another Midnight Reaper. I think we just go Godless Shrine untapped, play Midnight Reaper, play Pontiff, pass the turn, no tax. See what they do here. Get in with the Questing Beast, sure. We will just continue to trade with their Questing Beasts. We get to draw cards off this, but their Questing Beasts are just gone. So we're... okay, opponent scoops it up. They can't win... yeah, every time we're trading a card, we're going +1 and they're going -1, so they're just going to run out of action a long time before we do. So, opponent's on Mono Green Stompy, so we got Noxious Grasp, which should be really good. Probably... they have so many ways to put counters on their stuff, but Heartless Act is still probably worth it. Do we want the Banishing Light too? Probably not. Probably these are enough removal spells. Maybe even go down a Banishing Light because we have more efficient removal now. Also go down... what is not great against Mono Green Stompy? We want to keep our Death Touchers for sure. We go down one more Banishing Light, go down a Sorin maybe? And... maybe... maybe one of the Call of the Death Dwellers, run it like that. Yeah, so Death Touch is really great against them. Not as great against Questing Beast as the rest of their deck, because, you know, two damage Death Touchers can't block it anyway. But okay, we'll keep this. Not the most explosive hand, but we can like Cruel Celebrant into Luminous Broodmoth and have a pretty good board. Opponent had to mulligan too, so that's good for us. Do we want to... whatever. We will just play the Tapland now. I don't think we want the Conjurant right now. We really only want the Conjurant when we have a Midnight Reaper. It's great when we have Midnight Reapers. Okay, one just gets in for 1, sure. Noxious Grasp is a great draw, so here we'll just Cruel Celebrant. Next turn we can like Noxious Grasp plus Haunted Witness, and the turn after that we can Mothra. So, looking pretty good here. May just Questing Beast us here, but we do have the removal spell for it with Noxious Grasp. There's the Questing Beast, alright. Yeah, this Pelt Collector's gonna start getting pretty big. Take 6. Ugh. Fable Passage is good, but we're gonna... Ugh. Do we want to take the 2 damage to play the Hunter Witness this turn? I think we do. Because we can chump with the Hunter Witness against this Pelt Collector, and that'll save us more life than we lose right here. Pass turn. So, we're going to wait till they attack to blow up the Questing Beast, because they might have another one in hand, and we don't want to give them the chance to play it pre-combat with haste. Let's see what they got going on. Alright, well they got 6 mana now, so they should be able to cast virtually anything in their hand. Ram through. I think we actually do save our Cruel Celebrant here. That thing's about to be... Like, when we kill the Questing Beast, that thing's going to get up to 3 power anyway. Okay. Ooh, okay, we want to definitely stop drawing lands at this point. Yeah, this Questing Beast, we don't have a way to block it and kill it. We have this Luminous Broodmoth, but we can't kill it by itself. I think we actually attack with a Hunted Witness. Let's see if they block with it. If they block it, we're happy about it. Because we get to get back the Hunted Witness and also get a life-linking token. Which we can use to start gaining some life, because we're dead in just 2 attacks with this Questing Beast. But if we can get a lifelink token, we can make that 3 turns instead of... Okay, yeah. So this can buy us a... Uh-oh. They figured it out. Uh-oh. We might... Depending on what we draw, we might be forced just to chump with the Luminous Broodmoth, which is not great. Hopefully our opponent doesn't draw too well here. Well, I would consider that too well. That's pretty bad for us. No blocks. But we're probably dead now. That was a... yeah, Pitiless Pontiff. I think it keeps us alive, technically. Maybe. Okay, and we will pass the turn. We might just be dead here. I'm not... with the Stonecoil Serpent having trample, we could probably just be dead. Yep, we're gonna block with Broodmoth. Block. Oh, it has pro... It has... Yeah, we're just dead. Okay. I forgot it has pro multicolor, so we can't actually block it, so we're just dead. Alright. Yep, opponent's got us. So, we were just a little bit too slow that time. I think we did make a mistake in killing that that elf instead of the Questing Beast. Because we could have traded with that elf. Maybe we should have just let our creature die. We might have been under too much pressure even if we had done that, but it's hard to say. Maybe we just go up all the removal we can here. We just become a control deck, maybe? Bring in all the Banishing Lights. If we do that, then we're going to go down the Call to the Death Dweller because we have less creatures, I believe. No, I guess we really don't, but maybe just run it like that. Maybe a Hunted Witness isn't even that great against this deck. They just have... Everything they have outgrows it pretty quickly. And a lot of it can't chump a lot of the things they have because of Trample or Questing Beast just can't be... You can't block it in general. Maybe we go down to Hunted Witnesses, actually. And go back up the Call of the Death Dwellers. Let's do a split, because I don't want to go down too many creatures and make these calls just not work. So let's run it like that. Last game, we've gone to the like full control deck. Okay. This isn't the best hand, but we do have just, we can just start trading pretty aggressively with these Pitiless Pontiffs. Thanks to this Midnight Reaper. And being on the play definitely helps, because, you know, if we were on the play the other last game, I think we would be in a lot better shape, but they just had us under a little bit too much pressure. So being able to play this Pitiless Pontiff, yeah, to like trade with their Pelt Collector if we feel like it. Ooh, Heartless Act's pretty good, but I think we'll save that for like a Questing Beast or something. Something we can't trade with quite as easily as a Pelt Collector. Okay, then run out the Wildborn Preserver. I think so. We're just gonna trade. Sure. Okay, and I think we just... I think we're going to Banishing Light this Wildborn Preserver. I think we're just going to play the aggro, or the control deck here. Plan on Heartless Acting the Questing Beast that is inevitably coming. So we're just going to keep our life total high, remove their creatures, and play the long game, rather than just running out Midnight Reaper there. Moss Viper, okay. Soul Guide Lantern, not bad. We did take out a couple of our reanimation spells, so it's not super good against us, but... Yeah, here we will just Mire Triton, gain some life, Pitiless Pontiff, and pass turn. Opponent's stuck on 2 lands, at least for the moment. Sure, yeah, we'll... yeah. I think... you know what? We'll just leave it. We'll wait till we have a Midnight Reaper on the battlefield. Okay, they do have the ramp through, sure. That's fine. We'd rather them use that here than... Okay, that's a little strange. I don't know why they do that now. They don't... I think maybe they thought they'd draw a card, but that's not how that works. Do we want to... Yeah, we'll just Midnight Reaper here. Midnight Reaper. Hit our opponent for 2. Pass turn. Voracious Hydra. Okay. So they're gonna just... make it big, I guess. Make it a 2-3. We can just kill it with Heartless Act. No, we're not gonna block there. Alright. Go to combat. Attack with Mire Triton. We're going to play the Mire Triton here, and I think we're just going to leave up this Heartless Act rather than playing the Pitiless Pontiff, because we want to be able, if they do have one of their fight spells, we want to be able to remove the Voracious Hydra and or the Moss Viper in response. So, Wolf Haven, okay. And we can just kill the Voracious Hydra if we feel like it anyway. Stonequill Serpent for 2, okay. I think we just trade here. Death Toucher for Death Toucher. Draw a card. Hopefully another removal spell. Mire Triton's fine. I think we do kill the Oops. Wrong option. I think we do kill the Voracious Hydra here. Remove the +1/+1 counters. Oh, I guess that makes it a 0/1. Whoops. I forgot it had a toughness that doesn't relate to counters. But we're gonna Mire Triton. We're going to... go to combat, attack with Mire Triton, play Pitiless Pontiff, pass turn. We can, if they go to remove our Midnight Reaper, we can remove, we can start sacking things in response. There's a Questing Beast, sure. Sure, yep. We're not going to block the Questing Beast. Go to combat. Ooh, Ugin's Conjurant's good. We will pay 0. Draw a card. Well, land's not what we wanted. We'll go to combat. Attack, attack, attack. We'll sacrifice a Mire Triton. Draw a card. Oh my gosh, more lands. And... Godless Shrine tapped. Pass turn. Yeah, we might be in some trouble here. We've just drawn a ton of lands. I think we are gonna trade with a Stonequill Serpent here. Draw a card. Noxious Grasp is great. Okay. Now we can kill the Questing Beast. Kill the Questing Beast. Gain a life. Go to our turn. Ugh, more lands. Jeez. This is where having a Castle Locthwain would be really great, but a little bit outside of our budget, unfortunately. We will play Godless Shrine tapped. Pass turn. Wildborn Preserver. It's not that great of a draw, because we do have these Death Touchers, but if they draw something like big off the top, okay. I guess they do get to make a wolf, don't they? Huh. Alright, they get to make a wolf and pump up their Wildborn Preserver. That's pretty good. Sure. Hit us for 4. Banishing Light, okay. We will Banishing Light the Preserver. And opponent scoops it up. Alright, whew! Okay, so we took down Mono Green Stompy. We just kind of... I think it was probably correct how we sideboarded in the last game there. We just kind of shifted into like a full-on control deck with like 10 removal spells or something, and it was good. It was pretty good against what our opponent was trying to do. Alright, so Mothra combo. We didn't have Mothra... I think we only had Mothra the first game, but we were able to just sort of control him out the last game there, so sweet. On to the next one. Alright, playing some Mothra combo against Radical Stag. Cool name. This is a borderline hand. I guess we keep it if Death Touch is good against them. We got the Pitiless Pontiffs to back it up. We kind of want to... I don't know if we should just like mulligan until we hit one of our kind of engine pieces, our Mothra or our card, our Midnight Reaper. Maybe that's what we're supposed to do in this deck. I'm not sure. But we're just going to go on the black-white beatdown. Okay, opponent's on Knights. Stormfist Crusader's actually nice for us. Okay, we will go to combat, attack. Yep. Probably should have attacked with that Hunter Witness. I only meant to attack with the Pitiless Pontiff. I think we go Ugin's Conjurant for 3. Pass the turn. We do have the backup option of just playing our Ugin's Conjurants as creatures. Usually we just want to cast them for 0, get the death triggers, but having them just be a 3-mana 3/3 here, it's not the worst thing in the world. And we did draw into our Broodmoth, which is nice. Vanguard. Our opponent might be on a Winota Knights deck, which would be really cool. I haven't seen that yet. Okay. Luminous Broodmoth. And I guess we just get in with our Conjurant and our Pontiff. Yeah. If they want to... Okay, opponent just takes it down to 11. Pass turn. Sure. Ooh, Heartless Act's great. Okay, so this Stormfist Crusader has been pretty good to us. We kept kind of a sketchy hand and it drew us into a much better one. Alright, so it's just... Oh, they had the double Lord. That's pretty good. So that's going to be kind of scary. Do we double block? No, we just take the 4. We can kill one of their lords with our Heartless Act, so I think we will go Plains... Go to combat, attack, 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 leave back the lifelinker. They're forced to block something here. Okay. In response, we're going to kill the Heartless, or the Inspiring Veteran, which makes our Sky Knight Vanguard kill their creatures. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. Whew. Okay. So our opponent is on Mardu Knights, it looked like. Do we go up the Noxious Grasp? Maybe we just go up all the Heartless Acts. They don't really have... I didn't see anything that puts counters on their stuff. An Apostle is probably fine. And that's probably good when we go down the Banishing Light, because we have better removal now with a Heartless Act. Go down... maybe just trim around the edges. Go down Hunt a Witness. Maybe one more Banishing Light. Sorin actually seems pretty good here. Go down a Pitiless Pontiff. And... maybe one of the probably want to keep the Conjurants for a combo. Maybe one of the Calls. Run it like that. Alright, game 2 against Radical Stag, and we'll keep this. We just got kind of the control hand. But that's fine. Venerable Knight, okay. Play Temple first, get it out of the way. Do we want Call? I guess Call's fine. We'll keep Call. Pass turn. We might just run out this Ugin's Conjurant as a 1/1 to trade with this Venerable Knight. I think we'll Cruel Celebrant this turn. Yeah, we'll Cruel Celebrant this turn. I'm not going to block with the Venerable Knight, so they are going to hit us a couple times, but that's okay. We'll get this Luminous Broodmoth down eventually. It'll be too much for them to actually get over. Fervent Champion. Alright. They can't get in with the Champion. I think what we do here is... I guess we're going to have to shock ourselves, but that's okay. Shock ourselves, play Ugin's Conjurant for 1. And I think we just Heartless Act now, kill the Fervent Champion. Alright, and pass turn. No attacks. Okay, opponent's got a Inspiring Veteran, sure. We do have removal for that. Do we want to double block? We can get them both back with the Call of the Death Dweller. It puts a counter on the Inspiring Vet. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do it. We're just playing the control game here. Sure. Get to drain them for a couple, gain some life back. Here we will... well... Gonna have to shock myself. I should have done the Fable Passage there. Played the Luminous Broodmoth, and now we can start playing the control game. Get this Inspiring Veteran off the battlefield with Banishing Light. Stormfist Crusader, sure. Midnight Reaper, okay. Maybe we want to get rid of the Midnight Reaper instead. Big ol' Passage, crack it. What do we want to get rid of here? Guess we'll play the Mired Triton first, just to see what we mill. Nothing. Yeah, I think we're going to get rid of the Midnight Reaper, actually, to make their trades worse. And... we just won't attack. No more lands would be good. Alright, they had the Murder Strider. That's pretty rough. And Knight of the Even Legion. Alright. Alright. They do get to hit us with a Stormfist Crusader. Oh, they decide not to. Interesting. Let's see, do we have... We can call, but we don't really do anything with a call here. We just, like, get back a Cruel Celebrant and... Okay, so I think instead we're just going to make the biggest Ugin's Conjurant we can. So, Ugin's Conjurant for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ugin's Conjurant for 6. Backup plan. No attacks. Alright, draw some extra cards. Sky Knight Vanguard, sure. And another Midnight Reaper. Ugh, that's a little scary. Pitiless Pontiff. So I think we just go Hunted Witness, Pitiless Pontiff, and I think we're still going to wait on this Call the Death Dweller, just because just getting it back and draining our opponent's not that big of a deal. Pass the turn. Draw some extra cards. Ooh, no more lands. We've had enough lands. Opponent does start to get, get in with his evasive threat here with this Sky Knight Vanguard. Okay. Yeah, sure. We at least get to eat the token, but we are taking 2 in the air, which is less than ideal. Embercleave. Ooh, okay. On the Sky Knight Vanguard, I'm sure. Yep. Gonna need to draw an answer to that pretty quick or we're just dead. I'm gonna block here. Drawing any of our engine pieces is what we need here. We're probably priced into just playing the Call of the Vanguard, or Call of the Death Dweller next turn. Midnight Reaper, okay, that's what we wanted. Midnight Reaper, Call the Death Dweller, get back, yeah, get back and get back. Death Touch and Menace on the Cruel Celebrant. Draw a card. Hunted Witness, okay. Temple of Silence. We want a Mothra now, or a removal spell. And do we want to? I don't think we can attack actually. Pass a turn. Yeah, we're just dead, I guess. Sky Knight Vanguard just kills us. All right, well they got us. I guess if they attack with everything, we okay. All right, we actually live because they. Oh no, they put the. I forgot they could pump up the Vanguard. All right, we're just dead. Just take it. Yeah, I was thinking we might be able to live if we... Well, maybe actually... No, we would be exactly dead if we blocked and blocked there. Okay, so do we... Maybe we want to change things up a little bit. So Embercleave, huh? We do have Despark. Maybe we just go up the Banishing Lights to give us removal to creatures and the Embercleave. Yeah, and go down one more Hunted Witness. Maybe a Call the Death Dweller. Maybe go down to Sorin too. I mean, it's good. It's not the worst, but maybe it's a little bit too slow. So, go like that. Alright, we will play first. Last game against Radical Stag. And yeah, this hand looks pretty good against them. Apostle Purifying Light should be pretty good against their deck. Because we're so 2-drop heavy, I think we'll have plenty of stuff to do. If we have to play this Temple of Silence on turn 3, we got plenty of 2-drops to work with here, so... Grafdigger's Cage. Okay. Not that big of a deal, because we did side out a good deal of our reanimation. So we will get in with Hunted Witness. Play the Apostle. Pass turn. Apostle should be pretty good against their deck. I think most of their creatures are black. Right there, for example. Okay, Luminous Broodmoth is pretty good. We just want another land at this point. Fable Passage is another land, okay. And I think we go Cruel Celebrant so we don't mill that land. And pass turn. Knight of the Even Legion. Alright. Fervent Champion. Sure. Okay, so we're gonna go Fable Passage, crack it. Go get a white source. Actually a black source. Play our Luminous Broodmoth. Go to combat. No attacks. Pass turn. Next turn we can Midnight Reaper plus Ugin's Conduit, draw 2, because the Ugin's Conduit will come back as a flyer thanks to... Oh, actually it won't because of Craftigger's Cage. Never mind. We still get to draw 1 though, so... Midnight Reaper, okay. Opponent still can't really do anything though. So we will attack with Luminous Broodmoth. Play Fable Passage. Go get a black source. Midnight Reaper. Mire Trident. Alright, I'm actually happy to mill the Call of the Death Dweller because we just cannot use it at this point. Draw a card. Drain our opponent a little bit. Pass turn. Ooh, another Cruel Celebrant's pretty good. Yeah, our opponent's just in not great shape. They're gonna need a removal spell for our Luminous Broodmoth pretty much ASAP. But they are drawing 2 cards at turns. Okay, they did draw it. Sure. Opponent's down to 8 though. I mean, I guess 7 actually. We're almost at the point where we can just drain them out with this Cruel Celebrants. So... Alright, we will play Cruel Celebrant, play Pitiless Pontiff, and I mean, we basically got them dead next turn. So we will... yeah, just pass the turn. We got them dead next turn, so... Gonna have to do something here. Alright, that's a pretty good something. So I think we sacrifice Hunted Witness, drain them for 2. Draw a card. And then we'll sacrifice the Cruel Celebrant. Drain him for 2 more. We still got him dead. They gotta have another removal spell. Okay, Sky Knight Vanguard's not that. Alright, we got him. So we just drained him out. Just aristocrat style. Opponent goes out on their own terms. Plays a land untapped, but we had him there. We definitely had him. Just had to untap, sacrifice our creatures, kill them with the drains from our vampire there. So sweet, took him out with old school aristocrat style. We did get our Mothra combo a little bit, but the last game was just regular old aristocrats doing what aristocrats do. So sweet, awesome. Took down Mardu Knights, and it looked like Embercleave is probably one of the stronger cards in the format right now. So post ban with all the kind of Ikoria, we kind of just jumped backwards in time a little bit. It seems like. Like, there's still some, like, cycling decks running around and maybe some Winota, but in general, it just seems like the meta's kind of shifted back to what it was, and that had, Embercleave was pretty good before Ikoria came out, so one of the better cards in the format, and we pretty convincingly took it down. Like, Game 2, even the one we lost, it wasn't, it wasn't like a crushing defeat. We could definitely have won that if it had been a little bit different, so. Mothra combo, keeping up with the best of them. Sweet. Alright, so the deck was a lot of fun to play. I pretty much loved it just as much as I thought I would. I just love Aristocrat decks. Luminous Broodmoth, awesome card. The ability to sacrifice your creatures and bring them back as, like, bigger, better things with flying, like that's just awesome. So really awesome card, and I really love being able to play with it now that companions are out of the picture. But now we'll talk about potential upgrades we can make if you have these cards already, or if you want to spin a few more rares or mythic wild cards. And first and foremost, the most obvious upgrade is Stonecoil Serpent instead of Ugin's Conjuring. Ugin's Conjuring is just a bad card, it's just like, the only reason we're playing it is because we have this combo with it in our deck. We can play it for 0 mana, with Midnight Reaper, draw cards, drain our opponent, get it back with Luminous Broodmoth, yada yada yada. But Stonecoil Serpent can do all that same stuff. We can still play for 0, still draw a bunch of cards, still get it back with Call of the Death Dweller, etc. But it also just so happens to be like a really powerful card, an XX for X that has trample, reach, protection from multicolored. Like it's basically Ugin's Conjurant all the upsides of Ugin's Conjuring, except also good. So, just a good threat. Like, we play this for just like a 3-mana 3/3 with Reach and Trample and Protection from Multicolored. That's just a good card. We'd be happy playing that, where a 3-mana 3/3 Ugin's Conjuring is just like, like, we'll do it sometimes, but we're not really happy about it. So if you got some Stonecoil Serpents, you can slot those in. I'd probably go like 4 Stonecoil Serpents and a couple Ugin's Conjurings, maybe Chamber Sentries if you have those as well, but I don't think we really get much use out of Chamber Sentries. I don't think they're that much better than Ugin's Conjurings, so I wouldn't really spend any wild cards on those. But if you have some Chamber Sentries, maybe try those, like 4 Stonecoil Serpents, a couple Chamber Sentries. That'd be pretty good. But yeah, Stonecoil Serpent, definitely obvious upgrade here. Woe Strider would be absolutely great in our deck because it is a free sacrifice outlet. We don't have to spend any mana. Pitiless Pontiff isn't bad, but it is 1 mana to sacrifice another creature, so we can't really, you know, if we have up like 8 sacrifices we can do on board just to like drain our opponent out with a Cruel Celebrant, we have to have 8 mana open as well to do it. Whereas with Woe Strider, it costs 0 mana. We can just sacrifice as many creatures as we have to sacrifice. Woe Strider lets us sacrifice that many creatures, so it'd be a great sacrifice outlet in our deck. I'd probably just straight up replace Pitiless Pontiff with it. It does bump our mana curve up a bit, so we might want to go down like some Banishing Lights or whatever, just to make sure we don't have too many 3-drops, but it is great. We get to bring it back with Call the Death Dweller if we want to, which also gives us a Goat, so we kind of get a little more action out of that as well. And just it being 2 bodies in 1 is just pretty great as well, because that means 2 things we can sacrifice to trigger for a Cruel Celebrant, or, you know, we get it back with Luminous Broodmoth, we also get a Goat as well. Woe Strider is just a better sacrifice outlet than Pitiless Pontiff, and it's the only reason we're not running it is because it's a rare. So Pitiless Pontiff is fine, and if you have to get by with Pitiless Pontiff, you know, it did do some good stuff in our games. It can get the job done, but it's just significantly worse than Woe Strider, and it's a lot harder to set up like, okay, we got our opponent down to like 8 life, now we play the Woe Strider, and we just like sack Hunted Witness, get a token, Luminous Broodmoth brings it back, sack the Hunted Witness again, get another token, sack, and just like train our opponent out from like a really high life total all the way down to 0, just with like a couple Cruel Celebrants. Just run as many Woe Striders as you got, and then like fill in the blanks with Pitiless Pontiff, because it's okay, but just not nearly as good as Woe Strider. If you got some copies of Murder Strider, I think it's a better removal spell in our deck than Heartless Act. Again, you are pushing up the mana curve, so if you're running like 4 copies of Woe Strider, 4 copies of Murder Strider, then you're going to be in a pretty kind of tricky situation with your mana. You don't want that many 3-drops. You might want to like drop the Banishing Lights, go down some of the Death Dwellers or something. You just don't want like a ton of 3-drops in this deck. But I think it's just way better than Heartless Act in our deck. Maybe Heartless Act is worth it. It's still in the sideboard, you know, if you need to bring it in against like Winota decks or whatever. But Murder Strider, it just kind of does the job better. It kills creatures or planeswalkers, and importantly, it's a creature, which means it's something we can, after we kill something, we can play it. It's something we can sacrifice to our Pitiless Pontiffs, to our Woe Striders. It's a creature we can play, you know, a 2/3 lifelinker's not a bad creature, and we can play it and then block with it, gain some life, bring it back with Luminous Broodmoth, have a flying 2/3 lifelinker, which is actually pretty good, pretty hard to race. So just having it as a creature, you know, something to bring back Call the Death Dweller, something to mill over with Mire Triton. It's just, I think, you know, we get a lot of value out of it being a creature in this deck, in addition to it just being, you know, more versatile removal spells. Again, be a little careful with how many 3-drops you bring into the deck when you're upgrading it, but I do think it's just straight up a better removal spell than Heartless Act in our deck by a pretty wide margin, so bring in some Murder Striders if you got them. And finally, I think, like, the single best upgrade you can make to this deck is just bring in some Castle Locthwains. It's just so good. Like, this deck is really good at stalling out, really good at, like, setting up these boards with a bunch of Death Touchers, a bunch of trades our opponent doesn't want to make because we're going to be drawing cards with Midnight Reaper, or we're going to be training them with Cruel Celebrant, or we're going to be bringing them back with Flying with Luminous Broodmoth. We're good at like stalling things out. We get into a pretty good position with that a lot of the times. And just having a way in our mana base to start drawing cards, so if our opponent doesn't want to attack, and we can't, maybe we don't have good attacks either, instead of just sitting there and waiting for our opponent to, you know, draw a removal for our Broodmoth and get through, we can be sitting there drawing extra cards every turn. So pull in, I don't know, like 3 or 4 copies of Castle Locthwain. It's just an incredible card. You might want to go up Castle Ardenvale too. We do get some mileage out of the bodies, right? Like, Cruel Celebrant does trigger off of tokens, so Midnight Reaper doesn't. So we don't get draws off of Castle Ardenvale, giving us 1/1s off of Midnight Reaper, but I mean, just having the bodies to sacrifice, and even just clog up board, maybe like run 1 or 2 copies of Castle Ardenvale. I think Castle Locthwain is like the first upgrade to make to this deck. Just at least a couple copies of Castle Locthwain in your deck will be, I think, really, really, really good and really powerful in this deck. So if you got them, slot them in. If you don't, I would recommend spending the wild cards here first, because not only is Castle Locthwain really good in this deck, it's just a great card to have in general for pretty much any deck you build that's, you know, in black. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for Luminous Broodmoth combo. The deck was really awesome. I'm probably just going to build a non-budget version and just play it for fun. Like, this is exactly the kind of deck I love to play. Anyway, let me know if you have a Mothra deck yourself that maybe you went a different direction with, and I hope you enjoyed watching, because I sure enjoyed playing. This has been 2D, and I'll see you next time.